Thanks, Reshma. And it's not every day we have the good fortune of being joined by not just one, but two of Bollywood's leading ladies. That's right, I'm of course talking about the truly timeless Madhuri Dixit and the extremely ravishing Huma Qureshi. So it's of course been 2 years since you've returned from the US back to India. We have truly missed you on the big screen. And several offers had to have come your way. So what compelled you to sign the dotted line with respect to Dedh Ishqiya?
I think I've always maintained that the script is a hero. And when I was narrated the script by Abhishek and Vishal for Dedh Ishqiya, I loved the script. I loved the characters. I loved, Babban, Khalu, Munia, and Begum Para, and the interactions. And I think it's a very entertaining script, and it's very tight, and it's got very quirky characters, and that's something I really loved about it. And of course, I'd seen the initial Ishqiya, which I was very impressed with, and I wanted to work with Abhishek Chaubey.
And Humaji, you are of course 2 years old in the industry, essentially. So, we've loved watching each and every one of your films. What's it like to be working with such veterans so early on in your career?
Since my first film, I've been fortunate. I've worked with some of the best actors, and this film is no exception. And I get to work with the gorgeous Madhuri Dixit, and there's Nasir sir, and there's Arshad in the film. So I just think I'm flattered, to be very honest, that I can sort of stand there with these guys and be counted.
Now, does that element add pressure to your performance and therefore make your performance even better? How would you describe how the atmosphere changes?
Well, it doesn't, to be very honest. And I think these guys are, they're veterans and they're legends, really, but they don't take it very seriously. I think that's what makes them really special. And I never felt the pressure or the need to feel the pressure. I just thought I had to do my job, and I just did my job. And these guys make it very easy. They're just some of the best co-stars you could wish for.
Madhuri, we're of course very curious about your character and your character's equation with Nasir sir's character. Could you give us a sneak preview of that?
Well, Begum Para is a Begum of Mahmoodabad, which is in Lucknow. And she meets, Khalu Jan when he ends up there. And the whole story begins then. I cannot reveal much because that kind of reveals the story. But I think Begum Para is a very multi-layered character. What she is slightly off, because she pretends to be a lot of things, but there's a lot of turmoil within her. And so it's multi-layered, and as the film goes by layer, it's revealed.
In the press, some have described this film as a woman-oriented film, and would you agree with that statement or you disagree? There's been, mixed opinions in that regard, so welcome your thoughts.
It's not really a woman-oriented film. I think there's been an incorrect way to describe it. I think it's a love story, and both men and women are equal partners in a love story. But having said that, it's a very, it's a kind of film where the women are as important as the men. It's not like a male-driven or a female-driven film. It's where everyone's a character and everyone has a role to play, and everyone takes the story forward. But yes, I have to give credit to the direction and the writing for the film, which is Vishal Bhardwaj, Abhishek Chaubey, and Dara Farooqi. They've really sort of written the film with the female voice being very strong and being very sort of, it's not a dismissive voice. It has a point of view. It's very strong. They tend to write female characters. They're very mysterious, very enigmatic, and I think that's the sort of hallmark of the brand Ishqiya itself, that, the women really are these almost mysterious creatures you never really can put your finger on. And that's the USP of the film, I would say.
What was perhaps the most challenging part about coming into character with respect to this specific role?
I think there was nothing really challenging about it. The only challenging part was the balance of the character. Like, the nuances had to be just right. Because Begum Para is usually thinking one thing, saying another, and when you go back, you should be able to understand that, oh, this is what it was. So it's a very like a tightrope walk for me. But it was very easy because the director made it easy, and his contribution is a lot. And, I really enjoyed playing Begum Para.
As a follow-up question, it's of course, I think you entered the industry in the mid to late 80s, nearly some 30 years ago. So that's why we call you truly timeless, by the way. But we're wondering, in your view, how has the industry changed, then versus now? Some observations.
Well, I think it's more corporate now. It's more organized. The scripts are bound and ready. Everything is worked out, from how you're going to look to what you're going to wear to where the shooting is going to take place, the locations. So all the actor has to do is go there and perform, which makes it easy on the actor. And I think it's a wonderful time to be in Indian cinema. Also, the kind of roles being written for women. Women are no longer victims or avengers or just eye candy. They have much more substance. They are people in movies, characters, who have strong opinions or who have, a strong outlook in life. They're not just taking the back seat, which is wonderful. And they've been written very well. And I think it's a lovely time for women to be in cinema. Another thing that changes is the sync sound, because we used to dub for our movies before. We used to do the whole movie again in a studio. But today it's sync sound, so that's wonderful.
So, we've read that your entry into the industry was, somewhat accidental, at least on the big screen. Can you tell us the true story behind that? How much is, that rumor valid?
Well, I always was interested in performing arts. I used to do theatre in college and school, and I was good at it. But I never thought I'd become an actress because, it was, I don't know, too far-fetched a dream to be a Bollywood actress. And even when I moved to Bombay, it was just because when I was doing theatre in Delhi, I was getting a lot of offers for, calls for auditions and stuff. And I just thought, why not? One should give it a shot. Which is when I spoke to my parents, and they thought I had lost the plot. But they always thought I'd do something more academic, since I was always good in studies. But, I had to convince my father a bit, and because he loves me a lot. He told me, okay, give it a shot for a year or so. If it doesn't work out, do an MBA, do something worthwhile with your life, and don't just dance around trees. Which is when I moved to Bombay, and I'm fortunate it did work out. I did start off with television commercials and then movies. So yeah, it's been pretty good so far.
After the success of course, Dhoom 3 and Krish 3, now we've got, Dedh Ishqiya, we're going to see Dedh Ishqiya. Your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I would love to have a Dedh Ishqiya and a Saade Teen and Aage. But as of now, we are looking forward to Dedh Ishqiya. We're very, very excited about the release. And I hope people are too. And I hope they watch it and enjoy it.
We're like the missing link between Dhoom 2 and Krish 3. 1.5.
So it's said that, once you're on set, you sort of become a family. And you learn things about each other that perhaps the public isn't privy to. So, Humaji, we'll start with you. One of the biggest surprises about working with Madhuri Dixit, or something about Madhuri Dixit that we as the showbiz viewers maybe don't know.
She's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know. She's a very cool person. Yeah, I think she's very cool. Yeah, she's very cool, and I think she's also like she's. I can't say it with complete this thing, but I think she has a very mischievous.
Sorry, hello, I lost you. I'm not losing
She has a mischievous side to her. She can be quite a brat. I was trying to find a word and not use the word brat.
Can you hear me now?
See what I mean? She's a great mimic, and she has great stories to tell. So yeah.
Well, why don't we just turn that question around? So, Madhuri, the same question back to you about Humaji.
I'm an open book. I'm actually serious. I'm very serious and
she's very bright, I have to say. She's a newcomer and yet she's very bright. When she does the scene, she always surprises me because she understands a scene before doing it, you know what I mean? And she catches the in-between nuances. And it was a pleasure working with her.
Well, there you have it. Up close and personal with Madhuri Dixit and Huma Qureshi.